All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We
thank
have
you.
got a lot to
Thank you,
talk
thank you,
about,
Walter.
folks.
Thank you.
Lots
Thank you, thank you.
and
Thank you,
lots
thank you.
to talk about. So there you have it, guys. This is the keynote from 2019 Computex AMD with Lisa Su. We have got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. This is nuts. This is crazy. We don't care about Linus Tech Tips. We don't care about that guy. So let's switch back over to the old big... We don't want that one. Chrome window. Boom. There we go. All right. Thanks for doing the keynote, Terk. You're welcome, Ghost. I'm glad you were with me. I've got in my hand what I take away from this whole experience. And if y'all are interested, I can go through it with you. It's going to be... I'm going to post this video to YouTube. I will have this on the stream as a highlight. This is pretty effing cool. So let's get this out of the bag first. Navi. So we've heard rumors. We've seen some stuff. We finally have got official word from AMD about what Navi is, what it looks like, and also when it's coming out. So they were saying that Navi will be released July. And if that's not doesn't sound crazy to you guys, that is bonkers. Why is that? Because June, July, that's 2 months. They haven't given us price points. They've given us very vague performance numbers for their new Navi GPUs, but they did give us a name. It's the RX 5700. Fun fact, if you've watched the entire keynote, they did a performance comparison with their new Ryzen processor and the new Navi versus the Intel 9900X. This is going to be a Gen 4 GPU. At least that's what they led us to believe. The comparison of the test was two 3D Mark tests running side by side. The Navi-based Ryzen system was getting almost double the frames per second compared to the Intel machine. So I think, and there was like a 63% performance metric. Don't quote me on that, but there was, they said there was some scaling stuff. So this Navi GPU, I think, will be a Gen 4 GPU. It'll be interesting what other SKUs and stuff they have in store. But that's Navi. It's going to be, I don't know why I wrote 1.5 there. I think it's a 1.5% or 1.5 improvement compared to the other Vegas. And the important metric here also, 1.5 times performance per watt. So you've got your 300 watt Navi or Radeon 7. It's going to be lower power and still the same performance. So we're probably going to see some pretty good GPU cooling, and we can hope that RX 5700 is not the top tier GPU. I don't think it will be. It sounds like they haven't even closed the various SKUs, the various frequencies or anything. So I think they're still trying to pinpoint that. But they've got die going through the fab. It takes 30 days to create silicon, chop it up, put it onto a package, and ship it out to, your retailers and stuff. So Navi's going to be pretty interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what the review people do, because that's a month. If you're not ready with your Gen 4 stuff ready to go, then this might be something to think about too. The first batch of reviews might not be favorable because you've got a brand new motherboard, you got a brand new processor, you got a brand new GPU, you got a brand new interconnect. There could be a whole slew of problems coming. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I think it's a great opportunity, but this is a lot of new stuff all being released in the month of July. So let's hope that AMD has learned a lot from their 300 series motherboards, their second series Ryzen processor reviews with the 470. That launch went smooth as heck. So we'll hope the 500 series motherboards with the latest processors and the latest GPUs will be just as good. So the next big thing is Rome. Just kidding. We're not going to talk about Rome. Rome is their next generation data center processor. It's supposed to be really cool. We'll leave them at that. But let's talk the Ryzen 3000 series Zen 2 cores. Very, very, very excellent presentation by Dr. Lisa. And we had ASUS came up on stage, as well as Acer came on stage, talking about some of their mobile platforms, as well as, you know, the different motherboards they're going to be offering. We'll talk about ASUS in a little bit. But let's go with the high-level specs and stuff for the Ryzen CPUs. On the low end, they're not saying, you know, Ryzen 5s, Ryzen 3s, Ryzen 7s, or I guess it is 7s. But the lowest tier they offered today was the 3700X. It's a 65 watt processor. That is crazy. I think we were talking about it in the stream. It went from a 125 watt part to a 65 watt part. Holy cow. Don't quote me on the 125 watt. It might have been 105. Let's pull it up. I actually pulled it up just so I could quote it. Yes, it's a 105. So they dropped 40 watts on the 700 series processor. So that's crazy. That's crazy town. And they also said it's got a 15% epyc uplift. So you're getting a faster processor with lower power. And what did they say the price was? Like 300, 400 bucks? I could pull it up on Twitter real quick. Yeah, so the 3700X is going to be 330 bucks. That's crazy town. I don't know what it is compared to a 2700X today, but that's 330 bucks. That's a pretty decent priced CPU. 8 cores, 16 threads, boosts to 4.4, and it's 65 watts. That is nuts. 2700X goes for about $260. So there could be some really interesting value concepts going on here. So then we got the 3800X, which is where we all thought we were going to end tonight. We weren't going to hear much more from AMD. This one's a 4.5 gigahertz boost, 8 cores, 16 threads. This one does have the 105 watt TDP. That's going for $400. What? For a $70 more, you get 2 cores. You also get an extra 100 megahertz in boost. That's crazy. I love it. Like, I wish they would have had a 2800X with the 2000 series. But oh well. And then here's the bombshell of the night. Ryzen 9 taking a letter out of the playbook from Intel with their i9 series, right? Ryzen 9, 12 cores, 4.6 gigahertz boost, 3.8 gigahertz base. Let's put that into perspective. The 3700 has a 3.6 base. The 3800 has a 3.9 base. This one's got 3.8 gigahertz base, higher boost, same TDP as the 3800X. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. That is freaking crazy. And what's even more crazy, it's $500. When they were doing their price comparison during the keynote, I think they said it was half the cost of the equally spec'd Intel part. That's a game changer, folks. I don't know what to tell you. That is freaking crazy. I love it. I really hope that production stuff, there's no issues. I hope they got TSMC locked down. I hope they got plenty of wafers, because they're going to be selling these things like hotcakes. So let's let that all soak in, right? We're off on the high. We've learned a lot about these new processors. Here's my I was going to tell you about how do they get this Ryzen 9 to be this fast at this wattage. So what they did is they took 2 of these 3700X cores, and they actually, if you look at the 3700X, yeah, so the boost and the base are only 200 megahertz apart between the SKUs. So what they're doing is they're finding the best 6-core die, undervolting them so that, you know, they can have 2 die on the same package, and they're going to barely apply any more voltage in order to get those frequencies, the 4.6 boost. And this is the same thing they took out of Threadripper. They took different Ryzen die, and they got like the best voltage bend processors or die and put them on that package. It's the same textbook, and that's exactly how they're able to get the 105 watt TDP. They're able to run these processors slow enough at 3.8 at such a low voltage that they're still at the 105, and then that 4.6 is what gets you that performance metric, those IPC numbers. And they're on a very fine line. I would imagine this part doesn't overclock well. We will have to see in the reviews. Yeah, thermal numbers, it'll be interesting. I mean, they're spec'd for 105 watts, so you could technically cool it on, you know, this Wraith Spire cooler. Because if you think about it, I'm pulling it out for illustration purposes. You know, the 2700X was a air-cooled part, right? So you could be cooling 12 cores with this bad boy. And like, how crazy is that? That's just absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait. It's going to be a very, very interesting how they're going to do these reviews. I've got some questions for my Tom's Hardware folks. I don't, since they didn't say anything about Threadripper, I don't know what my future lies there, to be honest. But I can be optimistic. I can't wait to see thermal numbers given the lower TDP. Not even my i5 will keep good thermals with some kind of an AIO. Yep. So, lots of fun stuff there. One fun thing that I think people still don't understand about PCI Gen 4 and why I think I'm in a really good spot to like provide some background. PCI Gen 4 doubles the bandwidth of Gen 3. So you can either run faster performing or bandwidth capable devices on the same link widths, or you can use less lanes to provide the same amount of bandwidth. What I'm interested in seeing, and this will be not from AMD but from other people, I want to put the 3900X in this bad boy. This is the ROG Strix X370. So this is an older processor, older board. Supposed to work. I want to put in this bottom PCI slot some sort of a bridge chip adapter card so I can build a small form factor dual GPU overclocked monstrosity. Put a mono block on this thing, same thing we did with the mini monster build with the 2990WX. This is going to be one of my projects I'm going to try and talk Tom into let me do. But then that also begs the question, what about this guy? This is my favorite motherboard from the 470 series. It's got the best, see it over here. It's got the thin stack on top of the VRMs, so it's capable of pumping out the power. It's the same wattage spec parts. So the big question will be, how does it handle the Gen 4? Hey, Bearded Corvus, what's going on, man? We're just going over some of the AMD Keynote, and we're talking about all the mad specs of these Ryzen 3000 series Zen 2 equipped processors. Wow. I love it. $500 for a 12-core processor. Oh yeah, I think people are hyping up this 570 stuff. I think 470 is going to be okay on some boards. There might be some that aren't capable of it, but I think most 470s could be okay. You missed the keynote. If you after I'm done with this stream, you can watch it on my channel in the VOD section. I'm going to highlight it as well, and I'm also actually recording this. This is going to be out on YouTube with my impressions. What about Threadripper? So high core counts, high I/O connectivity, that has been this processor's bread and butter. What are we going to do with Threadripper, folks? I'm on Threadripper right now. I love Threadripper. I think it still has merit in this day and age. Some people might not be thinking about it, but I am. But that covers, I don't know, Ghost, did we miss anything? We talked Navi, we talked the Ryzen 3000 series. I think that's about it. They talked about some of their OEM stuff. I've been waiting to see what they were going to say about the new Ryzen chip. Well, once we're done with the stream, you can watch all this stuff again. Yeah, we don't care about epyc and data center. I do. I'm actually in the process of trying to talk Gigabyte into letting me have an epyc server. Because I love epyc. Epyc is epic. Lisa, if y'all didn't know, Lisa Sue's license plate on her Porsche, I think it's a Porsche Cayman, it says epyc on the back. I've actually taken a tour of the AMD labs before, and it's pretty cool. They've got a bunch of like custom tricked out PC rigs. It's super cool. But that is the stream, folks. We had a good time. We started at about 8:45. It's now 10:45, so about 2 hours of uptime. Does anybody have any questions or any speculation you'd like me to do? I'd love to get your thoughts. I thought the stream went really well. I really appreciate all y'all on the stream tonight. We did tweet out a bunch of stuff. We Instagrammed some stuff. I think it was a really good stream. I don't know if I could have done a better stream, to be honest. I gave you my all, folks. I give you everything.